This is ION Hong Kong with Key.
And this is Harminder, and we'll be discussing the top news for the week involving Hong Kong and China. And welcome to the 42nd episode of ION Hong Kong, and...
Welcome back,
Thank you.
Harminder.
Thank you. Miss me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. That's what counts.
So...
No, you don't care. Well, I was about to get to these topics, but for some reason my internet's not working at the moment, but that's okay. We kind of know the topics for the week. Okay. So the wonderful Mr. 689.
Mr. 689.
Yes. Says, well, first of all, he dropped a hint saying that he might run for a second term.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's all I can say about that. As, you know, what could be worse? Regina Ip. But...
Fanny Law.
Or Fanny Law. Or Tree Gun.
Yeah, a lot worse.
Yeah, a lot worse. But no, at least it'll be entertaining with Tree Gun.
Well, I sometimes I think is he that stupid or he's...
No, he's entertaining.
Okay.
I'll say he's entertaining.
He's a comedian.
Yes.
Actually.
I call him the clown of Lechko.
What about Anne Jan?
She's just,
They're
I don't
just
know.
like the perfect couple. Actually.
Yeah, they were actually seen at the Sikh temple this Sunday together.
Yeah, it's sometimes Anne Chan trying to defend Mr. 689, that's our chief executive. Too much, way too much that we are actually...
He can do no wrong.
Yeah, it's like she's like the unsecret admirer of his.
Do you think she like wants to have an affair with him?
I'm not saying that, but it's like, she just would do anything for him, I think. That's love.
But I don't know if you're going a step up or a step down if you were with an Anne Chang compared to his wife. Anyways, that's not the topic of the show.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you're talking about a person who says that everything is up for sale except family. So, I mean, if she was paid to say, you know, there are unicorns outside, she'd say, the unicorns outside. And she'd say it with a straight face, like, there are unicorns outside. I'm serious. Like, so serious.
With rainbow.
With flying on rainbows.
Yeah.
With leprechauns running around all over the place. And
so 689, he's saying that he will run for the election.
Hey, but a high-level Beijing source said that that's like a threat if you don't pass the reform package. You'll get another dose of the 689.
I don't know what kind of tactics they're using, actually. Did you know?
I mean, he's so bad that...
Scare Hong Kong people or what?
But that's pretty scary. A second term of 689.
And now he's coming out. Actually, it's his first time that he didn't deny it, because before he used to say, I won't, he wouldn't admit that. Now he's actually mentioning
dancing around with the idea.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's such an inept leader that he will not participate in a debate about his perfect political reform package. You know? But I can't... But it's not like the pan-Democrats are jumping on it either. They're ready to do it, but it's not like they're saying we want to. They're just like, well, if it's there, we'll do it, but we're not pushing it.
But I'm not so looking forward to this kind of debate because I think...
Because it wouldn't be a challenge?
I mean, I still like the debate some years ago with Audrey and Donald Trump.
Sure.
I think it was still the best debate. I don't think anyone can, do
because she wiped the floor with him.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that would happen with Su Leung.
But Siwana actually is quite good guy. I mean, he's good at playing around words. It's sometimes I think...
No, I think he's not. I think he may start off that way, but then he trips over himself and starts speaking the truth.
Like this week and what our...
Well, in Lechko, I think we should just run clip 1 there.
Every society has its different electoral systems, electoral laws, rules of procedures, etc. Every society has its genuine universal suffrage. All elections in all societies are genuine universal suffrage, so long as the elections are based on their system, their constitution, and their electoral laws. Members, please keep silent. Chief Executive, in Hong Kong, we follow the Basic Law and the NPCSC decision in implementing universal suffrage. Mr. President, the CE has made it clear. on this point. He said that all societies have genuine universal suffrage, but what about those in Myanmar, in North Korea? Are they genuine universal suffrage? So long as it is universal suffrage implemented in that jurisdiction is genuine universal suffrage. In Hong Kong, we have a broadly representative nominating committee nominating candidates for the CA election. So this is
there you go. There you go.
Why they have the female voice?
I don't know. It's a translator. I don't care so long as I can understand. But look at that. So long as it follows their constitution, it's somehow genuine universal suffrage. So that counts North Korea, Myanmar, Iran, Cuba. Well, Cuba's doesn't really vote. Well, they do, but it's not. It's always for one candidate.
Right.
All these are somehow genuine universal suffrage just because they follow their constitution.
Well, is it the definition that we adopt in the United Nations, or where did he find this definition?
Probably the literal translation in the dictionary. If you look in the dictionary, it just says so long as people can vote. That's all it says.
But he added something like as long as he's following the laws.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and it seems that it really doesn't fit in the universal suffrage that I have been told about. When we thought that when you have a universal suffrage, then of course people can vote, and also people have the right to nominate, and people have the right to run for election.
Well, okay, fine. There's that, the right to nominate, right? I mean, putting that aside, that's like the extreme of democracy. That is like, if we could have everything we wanted, it would be civil nomination, okay? But even in this 831 decision, okay, the threshold is ridiculous.
Yeah, even tighter than before.
Exactly. So that's right there is the issue. If it was lowered, it would be a first step.
Right.
Right? We could work on it from there, and then we could subsequently keep trying to lower it or expanding some supposed broadly represented nominating committee. But it should not be 50%.
Yeah, I think the strategy of the pandemic, they should also focus on this proposal actually is a step backward.
Exactly. The reason they will not approve this reform package is because it gives an illegitimate system legitimacy, and that's what's going to happen. Right. That's the point, which they're not putting across very well, is that if you put this reform package through LegCo and it passes, you are saying that this illegitimate, restrictive, Beijing lackeys only club reform package is actually legitimate. Right. That's the problem.
I think Mr. 689, he also mentioned that UK is not a universal suffrage as a defense. I think the reason why he said that because the Prime Minister is not elected by one man, one
directly,
vote. Directly. Yeah. But at the same time, when you look at the election system or the regime in UK, is that they have quite a popularity support the Prime Minister because people actually voting the party and
MPs.
The MPs as well. Yeah. So they have the support of the people, but it's quite wrong that when C.Y. Leung saying that is not universal suffrage by only taking one element out, saying that he is not elected by one man, one vote.
And the MPs can put in private members' bills with only 40 MPs support.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of 600 something.
Exactly.
Where we need 2/3.
Yeah, I think these guys only paying around the words and without looking at the essence of what is universal suffrage.
Lawyer speak.
And he's always like that. Get out.
Well, maybe you know what these people want is probably like a model more like Singapore. Right?
Because Singapore seems this week big news in the world.
Yeah, we got.
And people keep talking about the model of Singapore, whether it would be applicable in Asia as well.
Right.
And
we're a strong man and with no dissent and a lapdog media and hardcore defamation laws. I mean, somehow that's supposedly the model to go with. They don't understand that what Lee Kuan Yew did was he doesn't have, for us, it wouldn't work unless we were independent. That's a different debate we could have, right? But we're not independent. We have a master up in Beijing.
Right.
And C.Y. Leung's master is the central government, right? if you applied the Lee Kuan Yew, what he did, the only mastery he had was the people of Singapore. That's who he had to satisfy. And if he didn't satisfy them, there'd be pitchforks and torches outside his residence.
I also look at it as from the perspective of the people of Hong Kong as well, because I don't think Hong Kong people can accept this kind of leadership with only one strong man.
Yeah, our mentality is different.
It's not the thing that Hong Kong people are looking for, because look at the umbrella movement. When you're talking about George Wah is a leader, are you quite sure that he's a leader of the umbrella?
Well, we're talking about Western
really
media.
so.
We're talking about Western media that is picking and choosing
as an icon,
kind of thing, as the poster boy.
Yeah, but he's not really the one that people would listen to when they take the action during the umbrella movement.
And that was in Fortune magazine.
Don't forget one thing is that the umbrella movement sparked off when we occupied the Harcourt Road, and George Wah was in the prison at that time.
Right.
He was not actually the leader who sparked off the thing.
But he did spark off the raiding of Civic Square.
Right.
So he did that.
That's true. That's
so
true. So
you can't say he wasn't involved whatsoever. He was there every day almost. And I mean, the thing is, then you got the pro-democracy side criticizing him for not doing enough. But then I've always argued, you guys haven't won the hearts and minds of the community, but you want to just get to step, P. And just take over the LegCo by force. Not going to happen.
I think that what Hong Kong people needs is at least I think that I don't really need a strong leader. I only want a fair system that can sustain. What if the strong leader pass away like Lee Kuan Yew? Then can his legacy live on? I really worry about that.
Right.
Actually, I'm not confident that Hong Kong can have that kind of legacy to live on. Probably Singapore can do that, but I'm not sure about Hong Kong. I'd rather have the system that can maintain the fairness and everybody can enjoy the justice.
Checks and balances. Yeah. The thing is, you're right. Even if Lee Kuan Yew was the philosopher king, what's to say, because this has happened in history, that 6 people down the line after him won't turn out to be a psycho tyrant, and then suddenly wants to use Singapore as some sort of their own playground to oppress people.
To be honest, I actually think that Taiwan is the model that we are looking.
That is much better.
Yeah, because when we compare the strong leader in Asia in the last century, Lee Kuan Yew and Lee Teng-hui, they are the big leader in Asia. I actually think Lee Teng-hui
Isn't he in jail?
No, he's not in jail. Of course not. He's still outside and quite free, and he's actually helping
Chen Shui-bian.
That's Chen Shui-bian.
He's
helping Taiwan to transform from the dictatorship of Kuomintang into this democratic system. The reason why Chen Shui-bian got into jail because of the system, that check and balance that got him into. And Taiwan's system will sustain even without Lee Teng-hui.
But then the argument, what becomes is that look at Taiwan's economy, it's stagnating, and it's because of democracy that they're not getting anywhere. That old excuse that, look at China's model, it's so much better, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is that you're only looking at the good stuff. What about all the other problems? Shadow banking, housing market bubble, ghost cities, jobs are not there like there used to be because things are getting automated. None of this is talked about. It's all glossed over. And most multinational companies are starting to pull out because they can't work in that type of disgusting environment of high regulation and corrupt officials.
When we talk about Taiwan, people will say that probably that the economy is not that good or that strong like Singapore or Hong Kong.
Right.
But the thing is that do they really that bad at that time? I mean, now it's not that bad.
It's not awful, but it's a bit stagnant now, right?
But people are quite happy there, and they're
quality of
satisfied.
living is higher.
And I would say that I rather live in Taiwan than in Singapore in this regard. I mean, people are happy. People are simple. People they're more creative. They have their own brand. They have their own ideas of technology as well. It's quite famous.
Very free media.
and media's quite blossom there too.
Yeah.
So I would say that I hope
It'd be
that,
difficult for me because English is not even an official language there.
That's true.
That'd be my issue, right? But that,
Right.
if I live there, I'd have to start learning Mandarin.
there.
Yeah, that's all, right? But Singapore would be easier. English is the official language.
True.
Right? But the thing is it's too authoritarian for me, Singapore. I like to blab my mouth off on certain issues. My friends on Facebook will attribute to that. And if I did the same thing in Singapore, I'd probably be behind bars or getting lashes or something because I would criticize the government.
We won't survive there.
Yeah,
I'm quite
exactly.
sure.
Exactly. You'd have to just go there, sit down, shut up, and just go along with the system there.
Yeah, I don't think this kind of like a netizens radio show
no
wouldn't
way.
be able to survive.
You can
too,
go
yeah.
online, but it have to be like offshore or something.
Yeah.
Get on a boat and do your show into the Straits of Malacca or something, right?
Yeah.
The other issue is they're comparing. Look at Singapore; they house everybody. But look, it's 87% public housing, and the rest is somewhat private. You think that's great, but at the end of the day, not really. You just lost a economic engine where people can buy and sell properties. Private property is part of a real strong economy. People can't.
So it would be even stronger now if they have the private property, right?
Maybe it depends on how they run it, right? I mean, right now we're out of control with our property prices because we're pegged to a U.S. dollar, pegged to a monetary system that's imploding. Right.
Okay, let's not talk about Singapore. But the thing is that Mr. 689, he tries to be Lee Kuan Yew of Hong Kong. He actually told
Lee Kuan Yew has more sense than 689.
Of course.
I'll give him that. At least.
The thing is that this week he also gives a talk in a conference of
Credit Suisse.
Yeah. He's telling the people there that people should vote the pandemic out of the Legislative Council
if they want results, and in 2016. But the thing is that fine, he can have his free speech to say that. Okay, I got no problem with that.
I don't find it appropriate though.
Yeah, true, especially since he's not really popularly elected.
Exactly.
Right? So he has no right to say that because we can't get rid of you by election.
Exactly.
Right? That's the problem. Even if the package passes, we have to go with somebody that's pretty much a carbon copy of yourself. And the thing is that he also said, if you vote out the pandems, they lose veto power, then we can pass legislation like ending filibusters. Basically, you end the filibuster, you get a rubber stamp legislature.
Right.
Right? It's inconvenient, but it stops a government that's out of control, that's not listening to the people, that wants to just put forward whatever they're being told and masquerade around like this is what the people want.
But I think that they are already doing the same thing now because like the airport runway, they're actually getting around the Legislative Council didn't get the budget approved by them. They're using this executive power to get the money.
Well, I don't really have so much of a problem with the way they're going to do that. It's because it's more self-funding to do this, but the thing is they still have to get around the environmental checks. They're setting up an advisory panel, and let's go like that means anything. But the thing is we are going to lose 40 billion or something in dividends to the government over the time that it's going to be going to take to build the third runway.
Right.
So that's using the public money. That's where it needs to be scrutinized.
Right.
But I don't have so much of a problem with the way they're financing it. Now, the issue of do we need a third runway when our airspace is restricted, that I have an issue with.
Yeah, same here too. But the thing is that if there is a public transport thing, it should be funded by the government, but not by this kind of financing by the debt or borrowing money or something like that.
But the issue is that it's a public utility, but it runs as a private listed corporation where the sole shareholder is the government, and the government's accountable to the people. So it's kind of gray areas a lot of is this right, is it not? At the end of the day,
can we just use the money to buy all these airports near us and then to shut them down, and then we don't have the issue of the airspace?
The airspace is because the military not letting us use it, right? Because the planes take off north and can't get into the Chinese airspace. They have to go in circles to get to the right altitude and then fly away.
I think that when I look at the video of iCable, it's not only about the military, because actually the airport in Macau and in Shenzhen, they're so close.
Also
we actually
crowded.
share the same airspace, and if we buy these airports and shut them down, then we have no problem.
I think they kind of need their airports, right? But I don't know. Third one-way built, not built. At the end of the day, that's more of a non-issue for me personally. Then I don't find it to be as much as a white elephant as the express rail link and the bridge to nowhere is. Those are serious white elephants because you can see nobody's going to use those.
Right.
They'll use the airport at least. You know?
Also criticized by some activist group because they saying that the probably it wouldn't be that useful, and actually the current run rates there is not totally consumed by
because the airspace.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to solve the airspace problem first.
But they said we are. The government said we are going to.
But they are not disclosing the information.
They said we can't because it's sensitive information.
It's very funny that they ask people to just trust them, but when you ask people to trust you, you have to build the trust.
Yeah, they don't have that trust. We also have, let's see, we've got Siwa Leung. Nope, we got, this is interesting. There are 14% more millionaires now than last year, but 1 in 10 wants to leave the city.
Why? It's such a great city.
Yeah.
It's an international Asia, whatever city in.
I mean, just like
why people would like to leave this lovely city? So beautiful here.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a lot of people would like to leave after the umbrella movement. I would contribute. I would say that that's actually one of the reasons, because if people feel desperate and now they're running out of method.
Desperate because they think they can't change the system?
Yeah.
Or the people that think that this city's already too far gone and they're just taking their money and running to like Canada, which is the #1 destination.
There are quite a lot of people doing this, something like that. Like quite a lot of my friends, they told me that they're actually trying to earn more money here, as much money as they can, and then they will leave. Then I mean, sort of kind of disappointed because you take advantage of this city, but you don't think about how could you give it back, and to at least try to do something to make it better. But you just take advantage of it and then leave. That's quite selfish, right?
I mean, I at the same time, I don't blame people for leaving, but at the same time, it'd probably be better if they stayed and fought. Anyways, moving on, we have clip 2. Let's run that.
Law and order, the relationship are undermined by these protesters, and Mr. Gary Fan is referring to all these protesters. Now, after the Occupy movement, some said that the police are making arrests and the judges are setting people free, and they are condoning these militant and radical acts.
I'd like to ask the CEO how he will re-establish Hong Kong into a civilized.
Elizabeth Quat. Doctor.
I have to correct you. Dr. Elizabeth Quat from the University of Greenwich.
Where's that?
Pakistan or Hawaii? I don't know.
Pakistan. Yeah, I mean, her credibility isn't exactly the best. DAB member. Now we're blaming judges.
Right.
In the city. I thought we were all about the rule of law.
Yeah, exactly. When it's quite funny that with these guys talking about rule of law only applicable to the police, and they say that police can enforce the law. But when the judge saying that the police is not right, then they attack the judges. They even attack, actually, not only the judges, they're attacking the judicial system here.
Right.
So it's actually attacking the rule of law.
Right.
If they say that the judge actually making a wrong decision.
Every ruling that the court makes, I may not agree with, but I will respect it. Because at least there's some legal backing towards what they're saying.
If they don't agree with it, I mean, or the prosecution, they don't agree with it, they will appeal it.
Right.
It's not like a matter that these kind of people can comment on. I don't think this layman can make a correct legal comment on that.
Right.
More outrageous is that on the Facebook, they're actually having this banner and sticker and posting on the Facebook saying that they will have a protest against the judges for this decision. It's quite outrageous.
It is outrageous. I mean, I thought this was all about the rule of law and we have to follow the law and all that. Well, you also have to follow the ruling of the judges. Now, how many cops have been caught lying in court for saying that, oh, this protester hit me or this and that, and the judge is like, I don't see the protester hitting the video evidence. I don't see it. Do you? They're even asking the prosecutor, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
It's also ridiculous that she makes such a comment in the Legislative Council. The reason why they're just letting these people go because you policemen didn't get the charge right, didn't get the evidence right.
Right. You're a lawyer. Did she just break the rules of procedure?
Not in the Legislative Council because they got the immunity. So
if I said I want to roast children on the LegCo lawn, is that immune?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my God!
Everything. Except the thing that because the Legislative Council, they have their house rules that they shouldn't make any comments on the judge's decision. She has broken that rules, I think.
Oh well. I mean, this is the funny thing about the blue ribbon / pro-establishment group is that they love the law when it works in favor for them, but they hate the law when it works against them.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. You have to respect our common law. And then there's some of the blue ribbon groups saying, well, if we had Chinese judges, everything would be fine. I mean, they're even going so far as to blame, because we have foreign judges, because some of them are from other jurisdictions. We have foreign judges. Somehow they don't make good decisions. They don't understand Hong Kong.
It's quite shallow when they call them foreign, right? Because you actually, before you corrected me when I refer some non-Chinese speaking people in Hong Kong as foreign. They're not foreign. They are here. They are Hong Kong people. They're just not speaking Cantonese or Mandarin.
Yeah.
So
that's the difference.
It's a nationalism thing, I think.
Only Chinese people can solve Chinese problems or something like that?
Yeah, probably.
I've heard this before, but it doesn't fly in the face of people who've been here all their lives and contribute to the city one way or another, whether it's through taxes or social actions or even just working, one way or another they're contributing to the city. But that's just their pea-brain thoughts. They can't think past their own hand, you know what I mean? They can't think that far. Like I said, that's why when you say, why don't non-Chinese people run for LegCo district council? And I've told you, because in this city, the majority of the people are not socially progressive enough to elect somebody who's correct on their stance. They would just see their skin color and say, I don't trust that guy because he's a foreigner. You know what I mean? Unless he's a white guy, then he's like,
oh, you mean Paul Zimmerman?
yeah. Then he's like God. Then he got God-like status in the city. Anyways, that's a discussion for a different time. And we'll be back in the second half. We'll be talking Bitcoin in the second half.